Share screen. Why me?
Hi, Mrs. Thomas. Hi, Miss Thomas. How are you? It's Commissioner McCaskill.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mayor. Hi, everyone.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. All right, I see Commissioner Moore. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. So you're hereby notified that a special call meeting of the City of Palatka Commission is called to be held via video and teleconference at 5 p.m. on May 19th, 2020. The meeting will originate from City Hall located at 201 North 2nd Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. The purpose, but participation and attendance may occur by one or all commissioners, mayors, and the public via communication media technology in accord with Governor DeSantis's Executive Order number 20-69 issued on March 20th, 2020. The purpose of the meeting is to get direction from the commission regarding brick repair or replacement in the South Historic District necessary to address the material shortage. Signed, Terrell Hill, Mayor. Receipt acknowledged by the commissioners. Please govern yourselves accordingly. At this time, we'll go ahead and stand for the invocation. We'll have the invocation followed by the pledge. Everyone unmute their mics so we can have the pledge. Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you right now, asking for your grace, asking for your guidance as we partake in this meeting today. We ask that you give us the ability to do things decent and in order in accordance to your will. Lord, we ask that you allow us to deal with these matters with civility and also with dignity, Lord, and that you allow this community to continually band together during this pandemic. Lord, we ask that you bless all the bereaved families across this country and those who've been affected by this pandemic, and that you allow this country to galvanize so that we can do things according to your will. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
to the Republic,
to the republic which it stands,
nation,
one nation,
indivisible,
God.
and justice for all.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move into our public comment section. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. No action will be taken on topics of discussion on these items. For those who wish to call in for public comment, you can dial 386-329-0100. So that you understand, we can hold up to 3 calls in the queue. And so if you don't get through, continually call back and we'll try to hold some time so that everyone can get in. But there'll be 3 calls held in the queue. From there, I'll be prompted to take those calls. We'll put them on speaker so that everyone can hear the comments from those individuals. I just need someone to act as a timekeeper for me during that time period. Commissioner Campbell just volunteered to do so. And your call will be answered by city staff. You'll be placed on hold. And when it's your turn to speak, your call will be forwarded to me. If you receive a busy signal, just continue to call back, as each call will be forwarded to the host, and then you'll hang up so the additional line will open up. And so again, just a reminder, we'll take that time out. For those of you who also want to use the chat function on our YouTube Live, you can place your questions or comment in the YouTube Live chat function as well, and we will deal with those questions from there as well. And so those are the things that we have in place. And so at this time, we're going to open the floor for public comment. We have, after that, we've got 1 item on the agenda, which concerns brick repair replacement. And we will take comments during that time as well, if there's a vote of any type that takes place. And so is there anyone here to speak during general public comment? If so, you can dial 386-329-0100, or you can also use the chat function on the YouTube Live format. And if you're on Facebook Live, it's the same format because it links you in. So again, those are the 2 ways. At this time, I'll go ahead and open the floor for public comment. Is there anyone for public comment? Again, the number is 386-329-0100. Do we have any comments in the chat room? We've got a phone call. Hello, caller. Can you hear me? Hello? Just 1 second. Let me see if I can get you on speaker. I can't hear it. My connection is.
Improve the,
Can you start? I'm sorry. Can you start over so that everyone can hear you?
sure.
State your name and address for me so we have it for the record.
Yes, this is John Bode, 220 South 4th Street.
Okay. Can you guys hear?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Moat.
Yes, sir. Commissioner, thanks for your time. We have a unique opportunity to definitely improve our street surfaces in the South Historic District. Are they able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I know there was a vote taken on whether to do the bricks throughout or to do the intersections. I was hoping to revisit that situation and hopefully revisit putting the intersections back to brick.
Yes, sir.
Also, we're doing throughout time, we've lost some substantial assets in the neighborhood. Granite curbing. At one time, we had concrete brick paved sidewalks and brick paver streets throughout the entire neighborhood. I know it's a big quest to re-brick the entire neighborhood, but the intersections would make a nice cohesiveness throughout the neighborhood. We'll take that into consideration.
Okay.
Address these street issues. I hope that's taken into consideration, and thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moat. We have another caller on the line. Caller, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you state your name for the record?
Yes.
And address?
Linda Kreider, 116 Kirkland Street.
Okay, Ms. Prater. What's your comments?
Okay. Will I tell me when I should?
You can go ahead and start.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Everyone can hear.
Okay, my name is Linda Kreider, and I live at 116 Kirkland Street in the South Historic District neighborhood. Hello. And thank you for your efforts in spending so much time on this issue and realizing how important it is to the neighborhood.
Hello? Ms. Prater?
Yes.
Okay. Can you speak up just a little?
Oh, okay. I'm listening and it's a delayed thing, so I'm sorry.
No, I can hear you clearly. You're on the phone. They can hear everything you're saying.
Okay. I did just want to say thank you for taking so much time on this issue. It's very important to our neighborhood, and we appreciate your patience and effort. And we understand that there was a vote to go back to the Brick Street for Hotel Street and Kirkland Street. I think further, in my opinion, I would love to see the remainder put into brick intersections and have some of our TIF historic option 1 or 2 would make the option 1 and option 2 be taken and considered. Also, I just want to say that looks like maybe there is some progress in looking at the end of Kirkland Street outflow there, and maybe putting in some kind of a feature for the neighborhood. If anybody's looking for the granite curb, they're all down here. They got done underneath the outflow, and it seems like not a particularly good use of them, but that's where they are. Okay, thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you. Hello, caller.
Yes.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
Okay, I think I'm gonna get feedback. Can you hear Lynn Carter talking?
If you can just ask her to mute, if you can ask her to mute the other call, mute the meeting itself and just use the telephone, then we won't have the feedback.
Okay, let me do that. Susan.
Okay, are you ready? Hello. I think we lost her. We'll go to the next one. Hopefully she'll call back. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
Certainly. My name is Cheryl Roach, 312 Dodge. How are you?
Great.
Good, good. Well, this is just such a mess. I don't know if it's political. I'm not quite sure the motivation here, but we need to try to get some continuity going. Of course, budget should be paramount in everybody's mind. I mean, we all need that.
Okay. Any other comment?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just getting feedback, so I didn't know if I was still speaking to you or not. Personally, I think that we all need to look at the big picture here and try to move forward with a good togetherness as far as what we have, and that would mean the brick intersection. I don't think you're going to pay for removal of asphalt, are you?
It'd be it'd be redundant.
Okay. And what the other option would be to asphalt everything. That would not be wise, I don't think. So maybe we could try to convince people that brick intersections is the way to go, and be realistic.
Okay. Any further comments from you, Ms. Roach?
No, I would just like to see some togetherness. Everybody seems to have their own agenda. Nobody's on the same page, and it's just not conducive to progression and bringing this neighborhood to a vision for all.
Okay. And when you're saying togetherness, you're talking about from the neighborhood association or the district as a whole?
Oh, I need everybody. I need the city.
Oh.
I need neighborhood association. I need the neighborhood. Everybody has their own agenda, and nobody is really looking at the reality of that. There is not unlimited finances. We can't necessarily get exactly what we want. We need compromise on all parties.
Okay. Well, we definitely thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Caller, can you hear me?
Yes, this is Pam Garrett. I was turning down my computer, so I guess she went to the next person. I'm sorry.
It dropped, Ms. Garris.
I actually live in Flagler Beach. My address is 2220 South Central Avenue, Flagler Beach. but my heart is in Palatka, and I'm there much of the time. I own 2 properties there, a residential and a business. And I've helped with the porch fest in the South Historic and still help with all I can do from afar and when I'm over there. And I very much appreciate the historic areas of Palatka and always have. And I feel like this is an opportunity to brand the historic areas with brick intersections, which will probably not present itself again in our lifetime. It will enhance value in the South Historic neighborhood and downtown immeasurably. It will immediately give these areas branding recognition when newcomers enter the city and neighborhood. And whatever happens in the city of Palatka, is my theory, affects the whole county. And anything we can do to lift Palatka up is so important, and we need to keep striving to bring it up and make it the best we can. So those are my thoughts, and I appreciate your time in revisiting this issue and making sure that the wishes of the homeowners and taxpayers and business people in the area are considered and that they have a voice. So thank you so much for your service.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Do we have any more callers for public comment? We've got 2 messages from YouTube. Victor Johnson wants to know, can we get a 4-way stop sign on 19th Street? Vehicles are going too fast. And so Mr. Griffith will, Mr. Johnson, if you can include some information in the chat section, then we will get a contact back out. We'll get a response back out to you to have some additional conversation as it relates to that. Also, Tony Harwell, 215 Dodge Street. Why are the granite curbs not going back down? This needs to be done. Brick intersections need to be placed now using available funds. And that's from Tony Harwell. Are there any more comments that we have are there any more comments that we have during public comment? The number again is 386-329-0100, or you can use the chat function on YouTube Live. Are there any additional comments that are coming in from either location? Seeing none, I'll give it a couple more seconds, and if not, we will go ahead and close public comment. Seeing the phone, no additional phone calls coming in, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment at this time and move on to item number 1 of the agenda, which is direction from the commission on the brick repair or replacement in the South Historic District necessary to address material shortages. Mr. Griffith and Mr. Holmes, do you guys want to take this?
Mr. Mayor, before we move forward, we didn't do the roll call, just so to keep the record straight, if we could do that before we proceed.
I appreciate that. Commissioner Borum.
Present.
Commissioner Campbell.
Present.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Present.
Commissioner McCaskill.
Here.
And Terrell Hill is here. For the record, everyone is present and we have a quorum. Thank you very much, Council.
You're welcome. I lost you.
And again, we're on item number 1. Again, Commission on Brick Repair, direction from the Commission on Brick Repair or Replacement in the South Historic District necessary to address material shortages. Mr. Holmes, Mr. Griffith.
Mr. Griffith can chime in whenever he feels the need, or we have the need for additional information. But Mr. Mayor, the meeting and the direction is necessary because I've been advised by Mr. Griffith that the contractor who's performing the work that was already in process has advised that he's experiencing a breakage rate of about 20% in attempting to remove brick and then use that brick for replacement. As you know, the contract that's currently in process is to replace the brick that was on the streets that we've basically repaired or put infrastructure in. And the vote was to go back with brick on the streets that had been brick before, but not to go forward with brick in any of the other interior intersections in the South Side Historic District. However, with the understanding that we're going to have to harvest brick from some of the streets outside of the historic district in order to simply complete the project that's already ongoing. And also based upon petitions that were sent to all the commissioners, as well as myself, indicating that there was not a consensus in the South Side as to how to move forward. The staff wished for some direction in whether or not there was a willingness or a desire while we're harvesting brick from outside the historic district to go ahead and harvest enough brick to brick intersections in the interior of the historic district, as we had discussed earlier. So Mr. Griffith can discuss the details with you if you would, but the request for direction stems from the fact that we don't have enough materials to complete the project that's under contract right now, according to what I'm advised by Mr. Griffith. Griffith?
Mr. Holmes, I believe you covered it. It's as simple as that. We're going to have a shortage of material. And if we're going to have to harvest additional material from roads outside the district, now is the time to reconsider the brick intersections and also provide staff direction on harvesting brick.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
Yes, well, I have a question and concern for the most part, I think. The original project, I think it has changed quite a bit as it relates to what we were actually going to do and what we are planning to do now. Is that something that the commission should be doing, or should that be the CRA should be making the decision? Because when I look at it and I think about the overall project and looking at the number of intersections, I think we had 16 streets initially that we were supposed to be paving, or not paving, but with replacing with brick repair. And if we're doing 16 streets at the tune of $61,000 per, that's running about $976,000 for the project. And if we've done 3 already and done 3 intersections, the intersection, they would run about $24,000 to $30,000 per intersection, correct?
No.
No, how much the intersection run?
About 11 to 15 on average, right?
Yes.
11 to 15.
That was the number that we were given for the last meeting.
So I'll half that. Then if we're going to be doing, let's see, 180, 120. So we're looking at about 60 to 90,000 additional for the intersections. And we got a 20% loss at each of the streets. So we're losing about 3 1/4 streets. We're losing 3 full streets of bricks based on the breakage. And then we don't know how much we're losing to theft if we at 20% of loss. So I'm just trying to figure out how much this is going to cost us additionally to run this project and how it's going to be paid for. If all of that is still in the budget, and what was the original budget?
1 second, sir. I've got the schedule of values here.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all the different things, the changes, and with all of these different things, and if we're changing this project to this degree, without putting it before the CRA, I just have a small concern with that.
Commissioner Borum, if I could take an opportunity to address some of your questions and concerns, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first question is the total project budget as it currently stands. It's $1,758,527.18. in regards to what the plan is with the shortage, we did anticipate some loss, and resetting the road to our current standard, it actually narrows one of the roads, which would offset some of the loss. But the loss we're seeing now of 20%, what would happen is where the brick currently met the asphalt, it would shorten up that section of brick road. So you'd end up with more asphalt road, and that would not increase the contract. The money that's in the CRA now, and I believe Mr. Holmes' letter addressed this, the 90,000 in capital outlay, in addition to the 50,000 that was there for River Street improvements, has been in that budget specifically for this type of project. And we've been having these conversations with the neighborhood association and the district residents for almost 5 years now. So technically the CRA has budgeted for this. We just need direction from the commission because they're the ones that awarded the project on if they want us to go harvest this brick, which we have roads identified and we have had them for some time. And if they want us to include it in this contract, because now is the appropriate time to do it, and the money's there.
And just only other question is like where we're going to harvest those bricks from. Are they good with us taking those bricks from that area?
Is this an appropriate time to mention the roads that we're thinking, Mr. Holmes,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. There are 3 road segments, and I'll try and give you a description of them. The first one is South 14th Street from Krill Avenue to Diana Drive. There are no residents on that road, and it falls within the project area for the South 14th Street drainage project, and it was anticipated that it was going to go from brick to asphalt anyways. The other 2 road segments are North 8th and North 7th from Reed to Maine. And again, there are no residents on those roads. And those are the best 3 roads to go harvest brick from right now.
Okay, I mean, it makes sense. I just didn't want the community to be in an uproar saying that, all right, we got some identified bricks that we can remove, and because we still already have the South Historic District, everybody not on the same page. So that was just my concern.
I think Commissioner, the thought process was if we could take the bricks from areas which didn't have a lot of residents in the area, so that it would minimize the amount of inconvenience as well, and also identify the areas where we already have capital projects coming in place as well. Then it goes along and it doesn't increase the cost in the same way. So you have the harvesting cost that goes along with the contract, but you also have an opportunity to get ahead on your projects that you have on the streets already.
That'll work. I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, well, with that being said, I mean, I like to, I guess whenever we go with the options, I can just pick whichever option, I guess. Along with the rest of the.
You broke up. I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat it for me?
No, I just said that's what I needed in order to be able to help make a better decision as it relates to the 2 options that we have available.
Okay. And so, any other questions from you, Commissioner?
No, not at this time.
Any other questions from the commission as it relates to this project? Ms. Brown, you got
questions. I wanted to know where the bricks were being harvested from and the impact on those areas. And he just told us that, so that helps too.
Anyone else with any questions as it relates to this project? Seeing none at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to select option 2 for the brick replacement in the areas in which they were removed, in addition to adding those other bricks to the intersection.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion on the floor and a second by Commissioner McCaskill. Is there any further discussions? Before we have discussion, I'll give an opportunity for comments to come in. Again, the number is 386-329-0100, or you can comment in the chat section. It looks like I have one call that's coming in. And so let me see. Hello, caller, can you hear me? Just 1 second. Again, you can use your chat function on the YouTube Live, or you can dial in at 329-0100 if you have any comments or questions. Hello, caller, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
My name is Marton Reese. I live at 516 Emmett Street.
Yes, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Okay, what happened to all the bricks they took us that was under all of our asphalt? And what happened to all the bricks of the 100-foot parkway that I have right here in front of our house? When that was all those bricks?
Well, the bricks that were where?
At 512 Emmett Street and 510, there was a 100-foot brick parkway right there. I imagine these two houses haven't put in, I don't know. What, if we're at a shortage of bricks, what happened to those bricks? And they just got finished taking up all the asphalt off of Emmett Street, and that was all brick. What happened to all of our bricks?
Bricks that were paved over that have asphalt on them. Those bricks, there's a company that's trying to salvage as many of those bricks as they can and remove the asphalt from the layers of those bricks. And so many of those bricks aren't ready to be relayed, or we don't know what the salvage capacity is at this time.
Okay, the bricks you're gonna put down in the cornerways and stuff like that, is that gonna be that new crap, or is it gonna be our old brick?
It's gonna be that old stuff from some old streets, just like the streets that you're on.
Okay, who am I talking to?
This is the mayor.
Oh, hey, Mayor.
How are you?
I wanna bring up something that nobody wants to hear anymore, but when you guys made your design, somebody did not make a good research. They plan to have a curve, and I've got a storm drain in my driveway. I told them far enough in advance when they were doing it that was wrong, that it isn't supposed to be planned to be a curve, because I live here and there is a driveway. Well, I still have a storm drain in my driveway, which they say they're going to lower so I can get across it. But you know what? I don't want other people's trash in my driveway, and I have to drive over it. Now, I watched how easily they took the one across the street up and did whatever they did to it. It'd be so easy to just pick it up and cover it. Why do I have to have trash in my driveway?
Okay.
Too old to be fighting my tires. That's all I got to say, because I put a message into you. You never returned my call, but I appreciate everything y'all did.
I didn't get your call, but I hear you loud and clear now. City manager and both Mr. Griffith, they hear you as well, and I'm sure we'll get a response to you.
Honey, I've already got the response. You're the only one who doesn't know.
Well, I know now.
Yeah, you did. Well, there's still a storm drain. They are trying to correct it, but I want them to do something to the one that's right across the road from mine.
So they're trying, so they are.
You just pick that little old thing up and haul it back.
So
There's no reason for that to be a drain in my driveway.
So efforts are being made to correct it now?
Yeah, you don't get me. I still get a drain in my driveway.
All right, you're above my pay grade, but I'm gonna ask some questions for you just to see if you can get your call back, okay?
You want a drain in your driveway?
Hey, I just want a driveway.
Oh, well, that would be nice, but I've got a driveway. I've got a private driveway on my lot, which they overlooked and said they were going to get curved there. If I had been at work, I would have come home and there would have been a curb and a drainage thing right there, and I would not have any access to my house. That's not right. I've been here for 70 years, and I'm too old to have to be fighting with the city. The city needs to take care of how they have somebody do something and come out and do some research. All you have to do is just get out and look, and you can tell there's two houses here.
City manager's gonna be on it, I can assure you. He's listening right now. So he's gonna see
So
what.
it's been a done deal. The damn thing is there.
Hey, listen, all I can do is try to provide a solution. So the city manager runs the day-to-day operations. We'll come out and look at it and see if there's a solution that may be available, okay?
The only question that I can see is that I do not have drain in my driveway because we know when it's rained or when it ever is done, where does all the trash go to the street?
And Commissioner Campbell has a picture of it, so, I mean, Commissioner Borum.
Put it in his driveway.
Let me see if I can blow it up. Well, I think this is what she's talking about here, as it relates to her having to drive over this portion.
So what we'll do is,
And that's right in her driveway, which is kind of not good.
okay, well, Mr. Holmes will look at it and he'll see, and along with Mr. Griffith, I'm sure they'll see about working out some type of solution. If there's an option available, they would definitely explore it. Okay?
But that's legit. They just want to pacify me and just put a lower Miami lean thing, so I can drive over it. But my point is, I do not want to have to drive over everybody else's trash in my driveway. I get everybody else's trash is whatever it is for the street is clean, but what goes in storm drain? Better trash.
Ms. Reese,
Don't want it in my drive. They do something to this one across the street. The little old forklift just came in and lifted that thing up. There's a grate there. All you have to do is cover it over.
all right, well, we're gonna, for the fourth time, we're gonna try to make it happen. You gotta let me get off the phone or we'll never get a chance to make it happen.
Well, it's already doing a done deal, so I just want somebody to know I got a pitch.
All right, well, I'm gonna come out and check it out personally.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
yeah, you should.
Caller, can you hear me? Hello? 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 Caller, can you hear me? Maybe not. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Let me give it. No,
Can you hear me?
I'm in line.
Can you hear me? You're on the phone right now. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me? Caller, can you hear me?
I was like 2 or 3 in line.
You're on the phone call right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Caller, can you hear me?
Good evening, Mayor. Larry Beaton, 627 Krill Avenue. How are you this evening?
I'm great. Mr. Historian, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. I had a question. I don't want to muddy the waters, but I just want to ask the question. Has consideration been given to do a mix or a mosaic to make up the difference in the loss between some new brick and the old brick? We will have some intersections that have the new brick, which I think look nice. It's not old brick, but it looks nice. And I just wondered if there was a possibility of maybe either a mosaic or doing some strips of new brick to make up the difference in the loss, rather than trying to harvest bricks from other areas of the community. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commission.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I take my next caller, I want to acknowledge 4 comments that were made on YouTube. Allegra Kitchens 1027 South 12th Street. I support replacing the bricks on the streets they have been or will be removed from. John Colarusso, 223 Dodge Street. How does option 2 affect Dodge Street, which is brick covered with broken asphalt? Mr. Griffith. How does option 2 affect Dodge Street, which is brick covered with broken asphalt?
It's kind of a separate issue. We are still evaluating how effective it is to remove the asphalt from the brick on Dodge Street. We did confirm, if you recall, the graphic that was distributed last week. We confirmed there is actually no brick underneath Dodge from Krill to Kirby. But we're still working with the subcontractor and the prime contractor, and we believe or hope that either for less money or the same amount as resurfacing, we might be able to uncover the brick on at least those 2 blocks of Dodge that do have brick underneath the asphalt.
Also, while we're talking about Dodge, Tony Harwell asked, has the Dodge Street sewer been replaced, including upper and lower laterals?
Actually, Mr. Harwell asked me this question earlier, and I haven't gotten an answer yet. I haven't had an opportunity to speak to the water and sewer superintendent. My recollection is that it has not, but I need to check to see if that's a section that's been lined.
Okay, and Cheryl Roach also asked to clarify, restore hotel in Kirkland and brick intersection where?
So we would work on the interior first until we ran out of material. There's 6 4-way intersections and 1 3-way, and those would be the ones that we would focus on first.
Okay. All right, and I've got another caller on the line. Caller, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me, caller? Hello?
Yes,
Okay, can you hear me? Can you say,
yes,
can you state your name and address for the record?
yes. Linda Kreider, 116 Kirkland.
All right, Ms. Kreider, second bite at the apple.
I just wanted clarification, maybe Mr. Holmes to put it so precisely as he did the last commission meeting, because Mr. Borman said we would take option 2, and actually it's really option 1 and option 2. Option 1 being replacing the bricks on the in the existing contract on hotel in Kirkland, and then option 2 looking at getting additional bricks that would not only supplement what we need to finish the project, but also do brick intersections throughout the neighborhood as we can. So if that's the clarity and that's the vote, that's what I'm just trying to ask for. Additionally, I really would like to see something a little less industrial looking at the very end of Kirkland Street where the outflow is. And if there's going to be a screen across the pipe for safety and some issues that I think need to be addressed by your wonderful landscape architect, Jonathan. Thank you.
Duly noted. And the motion is already passed as it relates to placing the streets that were brick before from the last meeting. The motion today includes the additional harvesting and doing the intersections in addition to the streets that were in place.
Okay.
Is there anyone else for public comment at this time as it relates to item 1 of the agenda? Again, 329-0100, or you can put your comments in the chat section. I will give it 30 more seconds by way of 15 seconds. Seeing no more calls, we will go ahead and close public comment at this time. Is there any further discussion from the commission? Seeing no further discussion from the commission, we have a motion and a second on the floor.
Question.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item number 2, this is our city manager and administrative reports. At this time, Mr. Holm, do you have any reports for us?
Nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Without going through the roll call today, are there any further comments from our department heads at this time? Seeing none, I got one call that just came through on delay. I'm going to go ahead and just take the call so that we can have the comment for the record. Caller.
Yes.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
Yeah, it's Leonard Freeman, 422 River Street.
Mr. Freeman, we're going to hold you strictly to 3 minutes.
Sure.
You've got 3 minutes. Go ahead and give me your comment.
Okay. Are we on now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Would you need that, please? Yes, thank you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, this is Leonard Freeman, 422 River Street. Just a quick comment regarding the shortfall. We watched the removal of the bricks on Kirkland and Hotel Street, and it amazes me that there's a 20% shortfall. But I will tell you that the handling of the bricks for the first 200 or 300 feet of Kirkland Street, which they did by hand. They dug them up with a pry bar and lifted them a brick at a time, put them on a pallet rack with pallet and hauled it away. That wasn't going very fast, so they decided to start using machinery. And the more they used machinery, loaders and that sort of stuff, wheel loaders, skid loader, and all forklifts, they started damaging the bricks, dumping them into dump trucks, dumping the dump trucks at the site where they were sorting them. So it just comes to mind that the shortfall is not the fault of planning or the city, it's the fault of the methodology being used by the contractor. And I'm not so sure that the city should be responsible for the shortfall and have to go to extraordinary measures for something that either, I don't know that we approved the change in the methodology. That would be, that's going to drive it. But just to say that the methodology obviously created the shortfall and the damage to the bricks. It was easy to see, got lots of pictures. So just throwing that out. Thanks for your time. Appreciate your work on this. Glad to see we're getting Kirkland and Hotel Street back in total.
Okay, and thank you for your comments as well. Just one question for Mr. Griffith.
Mr. Freeman, can you send me those pictures, please?
Yeah. I've got pictures of them taking up the Hotel Street. The methodology they were using was pretty good as it started out, but as they moved forward with dumping the bricks into trucks and then dumping the trucks, there's no doubt they were creating damage. There's fairly limited amount of damage in the raising them with the small forklift.
Yeah, those pictures would be very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'll send you some stuff.
All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay. That ends our public comment. We'll move on. Again, are there any department heads who have reports at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to commissioner comments. Vice Mayor, do you have any comments?
No, I don't have any.
Commissioner Campbell,
No comment, sir. Thank you.
Commissioner McCaskill,
Commissioner McCaskill just left the meeting. She had to attend to a family matter.
okay, thank you. Commissioner Borum.
No comment.
Okay. And the only thing I have is an announcement in an effort to continue on with the stay-at-home order and also to make sure that we continue our best efforts. Palatka Recreation, along with the commission, will be having a stay-at-home house party as a creative method in which we have our citizens stay at home and continually socially distance themselves in this new normal. That is going to be our first true cyber function. And it's going to have a myriad of, it's going to have a bunch of different genres of music that are going to be played. It's going to be on Saturday, May 23rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. as a part of our Memorial Day celebration. So at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we'll have an inspirational gospel brunch with DJ Delasmo and that's going to be from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. From 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., we've got pop, country, dance, EDM with DJ Digital. I don't know what EDM is, but we're going to figure it out. I'm sure Commissioner Campbell, you can kind of fill me in on this. So EDM is going to be the other genre of music that's going to be from 12 to 2. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., there's going to be a dance mix of R&B, hip hop, old school, and top 40. So for all you Motowners, it's going to be there. And from 4 to 5, we will also have an open format where we will have a mix of all music. You can call in as well and have your music selections or requests be played at that time. So we've got T-Gains Entertainment is is pushing forward this agenda for us. We will have, it's also a part of our Palatka Recreation social distancing programs as well. And so those will kick off from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. For our citizens to have some listening entertainment. You have options to be able to come in on Facebook and YouTube, join in the videos. There will be positive messages sent throughout the entire portions of these events, and also opportunities for us to advertise any upcoming events or also any media outlets that we have available for the city of Palatka. And so that will be again on Saturday, May 23rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're asking all of our commissioners and employees and citizens to make sure that they push these invites out as well to as many people within their circle so that we can flood the media streams for the city of Palatka, which is going to be our Facebook Live page that most of you guys have logged in on today, which is the Palatka, Florida City Hall page, as well as our YouTube Live page, where you can click on the links and you can enjoy music all day long via the city of Palatka, where we'll have our own community house party. And so again, guys, we have that in place. We also have some young people who have really taken some great initiatives to come up with creative ways to socially distance so that they can continually celebrate great memories such as graduation and other college graduation, things of that nature during this time period. And we're working closely with them to try to create additional opportunities, as well as in our downtown area. We're looking at ways in which we can create socially distancing dining in downtown as a way to promote business in downtown and our CRA districts, as well as be able to provide additional eating opportunities while we have limited space. But there are great opportunities for outdoor dining in our downtown areas, and we're going to ask that our local merchants participate in that as well, so that there will be some shopping opportunities for those folks who are waiting on dinner. And so again, we're going to continually push forward so that we are practicing positive hand health as well as social distancing during this time. I see a lot of folks out relaxing, being out in stores without masks on, continually going back to business as usual. And we've got to be careful to make sure that we are not the ones who are spreading the COVID virus. There are different strands that are coming up on a regular basis. And we just need to make sure that we continually practice the positive things necessary for us to stop the spread of COVID. If you're aware, there have been a number of deaths in this community that have arisen over the last couple of weeks. And we want to make sure that we don't find ourselves in a situation where we're taking it back to our loved ones. Let's continually enforce the positive hand health and social distancing so that COVID will not have its hands on Putnam County in the same way any longer. With that being said, I've got one comment. Dining on St. John's Avenue is going to be scheduled for June 13th per Roberta Carrera, and we will work closely with them to make sure that that event is a success. So on June 13th, we will have Dining on St. John's Avenue. And so we want everyone to make sure that you pay close attention to the same outlet that you joined us on today, as well as various other media outlets throughout, so that you can participate in that event as well. So again, thank you guys. Look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. And I want to thank our staff and the commission for your work on this issue. And we're looking forward to continually improving Palatka and making the gem of the St. Johns River shine as it once did. So if there's nothing else, we will stand in adjournment at this time. The time is now 5:59, and we will leave this meeting.